With the release of the Sonic the Hedgehog films from Viacom came a boatload of new fans for the Sonic franchise. So if you were Sega to capitalize on that, you'd no doubt want the new fans to buy your old games to tide themselves over for your upcoming release in 2025. Of course, we're getting re-releases of older games with Sonic Origins and the Death of Humanity, but one of the games that I feel will be loved by almost all of the new Sonic fans rolling in, and even fans that have been around for a while but don't know exactly how to access the older games, is Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is one of the highest rated and one of the most well-respected Sonic games within the last 11 years. It takes the best of the mainline Sonic game releases at the time and brings them all into one package with the gameplay styles of the classic Sonic games on the Genesis and the more modernized gameplays from Sonic Unleashed Daytime stages and Sonic Colors. Generations is currently purchasable on Xbox consoles and, the topic of today's video, PC through Valve's Steam Launcher. Now, the latter of the two is not a very viable way to play this game whatsoever, with its laggy frame rates, constant crashes, stuttering, visual downgrades from the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, and overall age of the port itself as newer hardware releases and makes the game more and more unstable as time goes by. However, thankfully the community has taken it upon themselves to fix this shoddy port and preserve the game through the use of modifications. These modifications allow us to play the games at the same level as, if not a higher level in the console versions, add quality of life improvements that enhance the overall experience, and even discover new experiences through the game, making it a platform of sorts. But now you're probably wondering, how am I supposed to get this set up? What mod should I use? Is there a meaning to enjoying content from this franchise? Sonic Cereal! Well, I'm here to explain the essentials of modding Generations and what exactly to grab for the definitive experience of the game. So, let's go over how this is going to be set up. This video is split up into 4 separate parts. Essentials, which are basically required to have a proper experience with the game. Quality of life improvements that fix or add certain things to the base game that vanilla players may enjoy. Codes, which require a more slightly descriptive description, so we'll get to those later. And a few extra mods that I think are pretty cool. If you want to skip to specific parts, I placed some chapter stamps in the description. They should also work on the actual player depending on what YouTube's mood is today. Alright, let's get started. Starting out the essentials is, of course, the Hedge mod manager. I thought it was pronounced Hedgie as well, don't worry about it. This is your #1 place to go for using all Generations mods, and even mods for other Sonic games too, such as Sonic Lost World, Sonic Colors Ultimate, and Sonic Forces. Actually, don't use mods for those. Don't play them at all. Now, I'm sure some people out there are thinking to themselves, I already have Sonic Generations mod installer, or Sonic GMI for short, so I can just skip the step. No! Hedge mod manager comes with the ability to use DLL injection, allowing certain mods to exist that Sonic GMI could only dream of. Some of the later mods require Hedge mod manager anyway, so throw out Sonic GMI and get this instead. Next up is Direct 3D 9EX. This mod fixes almost every optimization issue Generations had, and then some. It fixes frame rates in high demanding stages, allows for instant alt tabbing to get to your other tasks faster, reduces the amount of RAM taken up by the game, adds a native windowed mode option, and so much more. The creator of the mod is currently working on a version of this mod using the more recent Direct 3D 11 renderer, but that isn't out at the time of this video's release. I'll update the description to include it when the mod releases. BetterFX Pipeline is another rendering fix that's more on the visual side, fixing bloom and lighting errors found in the PC port of the game. And those are the essentials. If you don't plan on installing any mods or quality of life improvements and just want to play the vanilla game with no unnecessary changes, you're all set. Have fun. Now here comes the fun part. Quality of life improvements. High-res HUD takes nearly every texture in Sonic Generations' user interface and shines them up to look more presentable on higher resolution displays. Score Generations adds back the scoring system from other Sonic games, allowing you to change it to your liking, and even fixes Generations' infamously generous scoring system. Generations on PC and Xbox had some horrendously compressed pre-rendered cutscenes, but high-quality pre-rendered cutscenes grabs the Blu-ray PS3 cutscenes and puts them into the PC version at an acceptable quality. Reappear red rings allow you to recollect red rings you've collected previously, which for some reason the game didn't allow you to do before. This also works with Score Generation, so you can gain extra points from grabbing them. The free camera mod allows you to take the camera in any which way you want and warp Sonic to certain areas, or take some snazzy photos for thumbnails. Do you not like the Act Clear music in Generations for some odd reason? Well, customizable results music has you covered. It's got a multitude of Act Clear tracks to choose from different games, and even some different franchises. I hope you like Persona 4. It also allows you to add your own tracks if you have the tools to do so. If you're getting customizable results music, why not also grab customizable unlockable music? This gives you the ability to swap out certain unlockable tracks in the game with alternate versions of the track, such as the different acts from Sonic Colors. Soft Shadows fixes the pixelation on the shadows in the original game, giving them a smoother look. Fixed window title is a small but welcomed addition for window mode users. It changes the icon on the taskbar of the game from the default Windows one to the actual game icon. Discord Generations adds Discord-rich presence to Generations, allowing your friends to know which stage you're playing, which Sonic you're using, and how many rings you have so they can harass you accordingly.
Why the f do you got 0 rings, 25 lives while playing Crisis A Act 2?
Many Sonic games are known for having somewhat off translations, and Generations is no exception, which is where the Sonic Generations Retranslated mod comes in. It changes the subtitles of the English version of the game to better suit the original Japanese script. You should also turn on Japanese voices, obviously. Finally, navigation and light dash sound recreations adds back the light dash effects along with allowing you to use the light dash on any trail of rings, and adds missing UI sound effects. It also allows you to use UI sounds from Sonic Unleashed if you prefer those over the Generations one. Now we're moving on to code. For those who don't know, codes are simple built-in code injections for the Hedge mod manager that don't require going on an external website to download. These can be really useful if there's an incredibly small nitpick you have with Generations looks, controls, or physics. Be sure to head to the bottom of the codes tab in the mod manager and select download community codes, by the way, as most of these codes are part of the list. For starters, the locked 60 FPS code is a must for users with powerful enough PCs to use it. As the name suggests, it locks the game to a frame rate of 60 per second, and if the game needs to go at any frame rate below that, it will simply slow down the game's speed to allow your machine to catch up. This can be pretty annoying for lower end users, so I'd recommend making sure your game can run at a smooth enough frame rate without this code before checking the box. To go alongside that is the 60 FPS cutscenes. Generations cutscenes were originally locked at 30 frames per second, so of course, this mod doubles that frame rate to give a smoother experience. However, certain cutscenes may have specific parts that run faster than they should, such as the text in the rival battles, and lit movements in cutscenes taking place outside of white space. Controller hot plug support fixes up a few inputs for users on controllers, and fixes an issue where if Generations lags or a controller is disconnected, a reset is required to use the controller again in the game. Disable loading hits turns off Omochow's hints during the loading screens of the stages, allowing for load times in the milliseconds at times. Look at that. Sparkles remain on hub worlds keeps the effect that shows up on stages that haven't yet been completed on stages that have been completed. Disable title loading video turns off the unnecessary low quality GIF that plays during the last couple seconds of Sonic falling into the hub world on the title screen. It's very noticeable on PC as it runs at 2x speed thanks to the frame rate being boosted from 30 on console to 60. Restore right stick camera controls brings back the ability to control cameras in the stages while standing still, and pan the scenery when running around like in Sonic Unleashed. Finally, for all the ultra wide players out there, widescreen support adds the functionality to play the game at a wider resolution, but some of the loading screen textures may linger when playing stages, so keep that in mind. And those are the mods and codes that can enhance your experience with vanilla Generations. But we're not done yet, because I've got a few mods that do more than just enhance your game that I want to share, because I think they're pretty cool. The movie Sonic skin takes the movie aura from Sonic Colors Ultimate and ports it into Generations almost flawlessly. The additive homing attack allows Sonic to keep his momentum after a homing attack by holding the A button when performing the move. Did you listen to that Cityscape remix by Lynn from the Persona soundtrack and thought to yourself, I wish this was in a game? Well, now you can with the Escape from the City Funk remix mod. Color Sonic takes multiple effects from Sonic Colors such as the boost and the jump ball and imports them into Generations. Along with that, you can select certain cosmetics from Colors Ultimate to slap onto the model as well. Shivery Mountainsides is an entirely new stage created with the game's physics in mind that pushes the game to its limits with wonderful scenery, unique challenges, and a bopping soundtrack. Super Mario 64 Generations uses the insane decompiling of Mario 64 to bring the one-to-one code from the game into Sonic Generations, allowing Mario to run around in Sonic stages with near identical controls to Mario 64. And of course, how could I forget about the Unleashed project? It takes every main daytime stage from Sonic Unleashed and ports them into Generations. And with its recently released add-ons, we may have the easiest way to play Unleashed on PC in the palm of our hands. Before I sign off, I want to bring up some issues with Generations that are simply unfixable through mods, and how to bypass them. To start off, newer PCs may have this error involving a missing file called msvcp100.dll, and how reinstalling the program may fix the problem. This program they speak of is not Sonic Generations, but rather an old version of Microsoft C++ that Generations requires to run. So go into the Microsoft website to download this. Instead of downloading the version for your computer, you must download both the 64-bit and 32-bit versions of the program. Installing both programs like any other program on your computer will allow Generations to run perfectly fine. The next and final issue mostly involves laptop users and some desktop users. When launching the game, there may be an error stating that there's a configuration mismatch and you need to rerun the configuration tool to fix it. Sometimes just opening the tool and changing a few settings does the trick, but if that doesn't work, which is most of the time, you have to open Generations local files, delete the graphics config file, and rerun the configuration tool to get the game running again. This error happens because when you unplug your laptop from from a charger or vice versa, the game becomes confused as your settings are slightly different when your laptop is unplugged rather than plugged in. These two issues, along with others, have tried to be solved before, most with little to no success, so suffice to say, keep these fixes in mind when playing Generations on PC. Sonic Generations, bugs or not, is one of those timeless games that will never become stale, even as newer Sonic games release. And seeing the passion to preserve said timelessness through these mods is so heartwarming to see. It's because of these mods that newer fans who came from the movies will be able to have a near seamless experience with this game for generations to come. That was not meant to be a pun. I am so sorry.